So this is a longer video where Guava and I are practicing her leash skills on my left side. Now, it's traditionally you train your dog to walk on the left side. I have a much easier time teaching it on the right side. So typically I teach it on the right side first, get that pretty solid, and then we switch to the left side. So in this video, we're switching to the left. You might notice she has an issue taking food out of my left hand. I have a hard time delivering food from my left hand. But we are making it work, and we're gonna do a couple of different exercises. This is a long video, so I probably won't talk through the whole thing, but we're gonna start through an exercise where we're just walking forward. I'm reinforcing her out of my left hand, and then at some point I decide to turn around actually, and I walk with her on my left side, and then I reinforce her with a find it, turning back around when she is doing really well. And I find that a little bit easier than repeatedly feeding her out of my left hand because that's just hard for me. We are walking straight towards where there is a lot of traffic going in and out of this grocery store. There is also a smoker up there. This grocery store does like pulled pork and stuff outside on the curb, and they still have their smoker outside. So it smells like meat, and we are walking straight towards it. So part of what we are practicing also is staying with me as we are moving towards stuff that is really super exciting, which is why I keep kind of resetting her and turning around to go backwards. So at this point here, you're going to see me take off my treat pouch, and that's because she is doing really well with not getting the reinforcer until we've walked all the way up there and then reinforcing her turning back around. So I decided, let's see if I can not have any food on me. Can she walk with me? And then I can turn around and bring her back to the food. And I do move it out of the way here. I realize that it's blocking the camera after I think 1 or 2 repetitions of this. But essentially what I'm doing, I walk with her up until we kind of get right in front of that smoker. And then I tell her yes, and we run back to get the treats together. And so this is just starting to introduce that idea of just because I don't have food on me doesn't mean that you can't perform these behaviors and still get reinforced for them. This is just a generally good life skill to start teaching the dog that just because you can't see the food, just because you can't smell the food, just because it's not in my hands, doesn't mean that you won't get rewarded, and start to get them that idea of working with you for some delayed reinforcement, some off-body reinforcement, which is just an important skill in general, but especially for a service dog. And then especially when she does go to do her Canine Good Citizen, she will need to be able to perform those behaviors without any food on me. So you'll see a few repetitions of that where my ultimate goal is that we can walk right up to that smoker, and then I do eventually give her permission to then go and sniff it and kind of explore around it. You'll see on this one, I do turn around and I reset her. That's because she pulled out in front of me when I went around that pole. And so I don't punish her in any way. I just kind of ask her to come back with me, and then I make it way easier the next time. So we take just a couple of steps and then I reinforce her. You'll also notice every single repetition, I wait for her to look back up at me and be offering me at least a second of sustained eye contact before I start moving forward. That's her telling me she's ready for the next repetition. So here she moves away from me. I just say her name, I call her back to me, and then again, nice and happy, upbeat energy, just we're not gonna run and go and get food if you don't stay with me the whole time, and we just reset, make it nice and easy. I still have eye contact this whole time. She's doing really, really well, and she's obviously happy and peppy, though she is getting tired. You can see her slowing down as we're running back. This is at the same day that we just did that Petco visit, and we just moved off to the side to come work on this, so she is tired. She'd also previously been playing in a field with my other dog Pretzel, so she had a very big day. But she is working super well, and again, see that she moved out in front of me a little bit, and I just reset when that happens. I just kind of move back, she comes back into me, we start again. And at this point, we're moving into a new space, so you will see me have to reset her a couple of times. That's just because it's new and exciting here. There's new things to smell that she hasn't smelled yet. Honestly, watching it back, I probably should have just made it easier, just taken a couple of steps and reinforced her. And that's what I end up doing, but I don't love that she got it wrong so many times in a row. Usually, if she had gotten an incorrect response once, the next time I should have taken like 2 steps, and just like I did there at the end. But sometimes I lose sight of what I'm doing also, and hindsight is 20/20, especially when you're watching the video. But she's still nice and enthusiastic. She is a very resilient dog. So a couple mistakes on my part are not going to hurt her. Again, just waiting for that eye contact. And when I get it, I put her back on that left side, because again, we are specifically practicing my left side this time. And she's doing a lot better, not crossing over with that. And here she does way, way better. We get as far as we have gone. And I actually drop the leash for us to run back, and she kind of moves off, rewards herself by going off and sniffing the smoker, which honestly, because I had marked that yes, I'm not all concerned about all that concerned about the fact that she moved off and went and did something else. She had just decided that that's what she wanted her reinforcer to be. And so I came back and got her, and then we go and try it again. And that's when I decide that I am going to use a release to that smoker to sniff it to her heart's content as my kind of jackpot reinforcer when we can get up close enough to it. So I'm going to do a few more repetitions here, and you'll see she's slowing down because what she really wants is to go and sniff that smoker. But I don't think she can get all the way to it for me at this point. So I am kind of doing a couple of repetitions here where we do come back so that I can try and get her staying with me all the way up to that smoker and then release her to sniff. So I'm using this as a bridge to get me close enough I can give her that jackpot reward of releasing her. And so here you see me then release her to go sniff, and that's her ultimate jackpot. And then I go ahead and end the session because it's been going on a little while. I just let her sniff to her heart's content until she moves off. And then we go ahead and she gets to take a nice long nap in the car.